Good morning. Alex and I are here at the Longs Peak Trailhead, located inside Rocky Mountain National Park. And today, we're gonna hike it from the Longs Peak Trailhead up to the summit of Estes Cone, and then back down to the Lily Lake Trailhead, which should be pretty cool. I think we're looking at about 7 miles in total, with just over a 2,000 foot net elevation gain. Official start time, 5:40 in the morning. And in 13 minutes, we're up here to the trail split. We're gonna take it off to the right. And there it is over there, Estes Cone, with the blue skies behind it. Yeah, and we're knocking this out quick. And within 35 minutes or so, we've made it up here to the Eugenia mine. And there's water everywhere coming down. Yeah, that snow up there is melting fast. And there it is up there, the Eugenia mine. And I don't think they even found anything. Poor old Eugenia and his daughters. And we just passed the Moore Park campsite. And there's also a privy there. And yeah, I believe this is going to be Moore Park. And that is looking over to Estes Cone. We're getting much closer to that thing. And we're passing through Moore Park. And last year, when my mom and I hiked up to Storm Pass, I believe that was on my birthday, there were a bunch of elk down here. And I think that one of these trees is the one I was hiding behind, so I didn't get trampled. Yeah, this is a beautiful little spot though. I like it a lot. And sadly, all that downhill is just about over. Here pretty quickly, we're gonna hit the trail split and start going up. Up, 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 all the way to the top. And in 47 minutes, we've made it out here to the trail split. And according to the sign, we're looking at 1.2 miles up to Estes Cone. Beautiful trail so far. Amazing views over to Meeker, Longs, and part of Battle Mountain. Wow. This is turning into a nice day. And we've been hiking for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. We've come out 2.6 miles and we've made it up here to Storm Pass. This is about as fast as I can go. And all we've got left now is the final 750 or so vertical feet up to the summit. And this is going to be the hardest part. The bottom part of this final push up to the summit isn't too bad. However, it's starting to get a little steeper, a little rockier. And I hate to say it, but I'm slowing down a little tiny bit. Whew. Yeah, this thing's getting tough. I think we're looking at another 450 foot gain in roughly 1/3 of a mile. And so far, we haven't seen anyone else up here. I'm starting to lag behind a little bit. Yeah, this is tough. We're getting closer. I can see daylight up there. We're almost up there. The end is in sight. Boy, that thing gets rowdy on the way up. Pretty steep and really rocky. And these are the views from the top. And that is looking down onto Lily Lake. And that's where we're headed next. And we made some pretty good time. Took us about an hour and 45 minutes to get up here. And this isn't the true summit. It's a little more to the south. You have to take it across the ridge to get up to the highest point. But this is close enough. And these views are amazing. You see everything from the Mummies down to Long's Peak. And then looking to the north here, these two right here in front of us, that's going to be Lightning Peak and Thunder Peak. And this is looking a little more to the west, and that's going to be Battle Mountain with Storm Peak in the background, Long's Peak on the left, and then it's kind of hard to see, but you got Mount Lady Washington sticking up as well. And we still haven't seen anyone else up here, which is pretty cool. And like I was saying earlier, if you want to take it out to the true summit, you need to do some rock scrambling right through there, which is kind of fun, but I've been out there every other time, so we're going to call it quits right here, which is fine with me. And that's looking over to Stones Peak, Sprague Mountain, Gable Top, Knob Top, Flat Top, Hallett, and Otis Peak. And this is looking a little more to the east and down onto Lily Mountain and Ramshorn Mountain. And then you can see all the clouds behind it. And that's what I was driving through on the way up here this morning. It was all socked in and rainy. I was not expecting blue skies at all. But yeah, this is awesome. It's always super cool to be standing on a summit looking down at the clouds. It's about 8 o'clock, and I think we were sitting up there for about 40 minutes or so. But we're both getting a little cold. So it's time to go. It's time to head on back. All right, let's do it. Let's take it on back. And this was the part of the hike that I was looking forward to. Downhill, baby. Wow, these rocks up here are slick. Dang. It's amazing how much easier the bottom third of this final push is. I mean, when you're coming up, you're like, oh, this ain't too bad. And then it just changes and starts going straight up. You get some awesome shots of Meeker and Longs on this hike. It looks crazy over there right now with all those clouds blowing around. And we have just about dropped it back down to Storm Pass. And once we get back down here, I'm going to stop and put my poles away, because these things are a little annoying and I don't really need them on the downhill. Yeah, this is it. We're back down to Storm Pass. Nice. Originally, we came up this trail from the Longs Peak Trailhead, and on the way back, we're going to take this trail down to Lily Lake. And both of the routes back have a little bit of uphill, so there's no escaping that. However, that uphill grind back to Eugenia mine just seems like it lingers forever. I think this uphill back to Lily is a little shorter. We're just cruising down this trail, taking it down to Lily Lake, and this is going to be a bigger drop than if we were going to go back to the Longs Peak Trailhead, because the Longs Peak Trailhead is a lot higher in elevation. So that's why it was kind of cool to do the 2-car shuttle in this direction, because it knocked off probably, I'm just guessing, 400 to 500 feet in elevation gain. That's just a guess. Beautiful hike. Again, just like the Gem Lake hike and the Ouzel Falls hike, Estes Cone is a must-do if you enjoy hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park. We just passed a couple ladies who were coming up the trail, and they are also doing a 2-car shuttle. However, they started at Lily Lake, and they're going to drop it all the way down to the East Pearl Trailhead, which would also be pretty cool. And they were warning us that there's an army of guys down here cutting down trees, clearing out the forest, and this is just a little bit of the work that they've done, which is so good to see, because these forests really do need it. Hopefully this prevents forest fires from ripping through here. And that's looking over at Lily Mountain. Looks pretty awesome from this angle. And then right over there on the shelf is where Lily Lake is. And it looks like we're about eye level with it. However, right down in here, there's a little down and up, and that's where we're going to get the tiny bit of elevation gain. I think we're looking at maybe 150 vertical feet. We're going to have to go down and back up. And we're dropping in on the chainsaw crew. And I believe we can see the trail across the way, cutting back up way out there. I think we've been hiking down for a little over an hour and a half, and we've made it down here to the trail split, and we need to take this right, and it looks like 0.6 of a mile over to Lily Lake. So yeah, we're almost done with this thing. Awesome views over to the Mummy Mountains, and that trail that was branching off to the left was the trail that my mom and I had hiked earlier in the year. Basically comes up through here, and then we had bushwhacked it up the side, and that looks like the area. And from that trail split is where the trail started going uphill, which really isn't that bad. We've just about knocked it out, and we're almost up there. And we popped up over the top, and we're looking over at the road there. It's going to be Highway 7. And we've also got a couple elk just off the trail. Alex was smart, and he already branched off the trail, and he's going to take the long way around. I was like, I'm gonna go down there, call for help if I get trampled. Yeah, see, I've already scared him away. Beautiful hike though. Amazing day. I'd say it was in the high 30s up there on the top of Estes Cone, but there was hardly any wind. It was just really nice and enjoyable. And that's looking back at where we've come from. And that's gonna be big old Estes Cone sticking up. Beautiful shot right there. That might have to be the thumbnail. And the rest of this hike should be a nice gradual downhill all the way back to Lily Lake. And we're back. Lily Lake parking and trailhead. And it's just now about 9:45. So that took us roughly an hour and 45 minutes to come down. Looking at 145 up and 145 down. Distance-wise, that's right around 7 miles in total, with just over a 2,000 foot net elevation gain and just over a 2,400 foot net elevation drop. Awesome hike. I highly recommend it. Well, I'm back at my car up here at the Longs Peak Trailhead, and I almost drove out of here without doing the final wrap-up. I had totally forgotten. But I hope you enjoyed that hike, and until the next one, y'all, peace.